Narcissists have spent an entire lifetime emulating the internal state and emotional expressions of intact people. It's a survival strategy. In order to navigate reality, garner supply, they have become social chameleons. They wear a mask, and they're uniquely manipulative and beguiling. And it's a balancing act. That's why they breadcrumb you. They give you little tidbits and tastes to restore just enough hope to keep you hanging on. And then they also behave very uniquely and differently around other people in your life. You see, when they are gaslighting you, projecting onto you, they cause confusion. They cause the summoning of internal shame and guilt within you, where you have enough questions about yourself, your commitment, your love for them. They treat you like you're not enough, so that you are second guessing your own reality and you are working on the relationship perpetually. And so when they project their issues onto you and hold you culpable and responsible for their own misery and suffering, what it does is it blocks your empathy, it blocks your internal state, it blocks you from acknowledging the truth and the reality because you're busy dealing with your triggers. You see, while you're being triggered in life, you're not actually in reality. You're living in a past-based emotional state that also involves a projection and idealization. You see, like if you grew up in environments where there was abuse as a child, you had to idealize your parents. And so ironically, when you get triggered by a narcissist, you will recreate one of your parental figures and project it onto them. And that idealization of that narcissist is what you're relating to. And so you're relating to them as that perfect person or that individual that you met at the very beginning of the relationship, while you're devaluing yourself in your own mind while you work on improving yourself to become good enough. So when they trigger a sense of self in you that you're broken and not good enough, that is what you're present to. You're not present to reality. You're present to that internal pain, the resurfacing of those childhood emotional states. And they're hiding out in your idealization. And so when you're stuck with the false image, the mask of the narcissist in terms of your own internal imaginary projection of who that person is, you're trying to live up to their expectations similarly to what you would do for one of your parent figures. And so what it is it's their manipulation capabilities from a lifelong, survival strategy of emulating normal people, coupled with your own internalization of their abuse tactics and manipulations that cause you to suffer and cause you to totally be focused inward and in your head and not present to reality. And so it's more about you being checked out. You're sleepwalking. You're walking around as a broken shell of yourself. You're walking around as if you're not good enough, trying to fix and improve yourself, trying to fix and improve the relationship, trying to provide what they consistently demand and need of you. So that's how they pull it off, is that you're actually participating in it by being triggered. And so that's what happens to a lot of people is when you untrigger yourself, when you get out of that mental fog and you see reality for what it is, you can't unsee it. And so what happens for a lot of people is they have a major life transformation where they can now detect these behaviors and these tendencies really rapidly. Like I'm telling you that I can sense and detect a narcissist in very, very short period of time, and there's a gleeful measure of immunity. It's almost hilarious when you see how undeveloped, immature, and powerless these people really are. That they are emotional cowards, they are weak, and they are human beings that are walking around in a perpetual potential mental breakdown, that they are one truth bomb away from the fetal position in life. And so they can only coexist with people that internalize abuse, people that are trying to become good enough, and people that are susceptible to the internalization of abuse based on past histories with emotional abuse from dysregulated parents and caregivers. And so that is how they do it, is they hide in your idealization. And when you stop idealizing them, and when you let go of the fantasies of everything working out and being perfect one day, and you actually see who they are really, for a lot of people, it's startling. And at the very beginning of that process, it's like your entire world is flipped upside down, because you will feel like your own mind betrayed you. You will wonder the same thing. How did they pull this off? How is this even possible? How did I miss everything? And you'll see you missed it in small little increments, tiny little adjustments, tiny little ways in which you withheld yourself and withdrew. You made that effort. You conspired something positive. You got inspired to do something kind. They shot it down and treated it like it was not good enough. And so you learned not to do that. And so you kept re-strategizing and having all these different ways in which you express your love cut off, diminished, demeaned, put down. And that's how you became a shell of yourself. You lost your self-expression. You lost the means in which you express love. You lost the crux of your identity. And that's exactly what they wanted. And that's exactly how they get you where they want you to be. Dependent on them for your own emotional welfare and stability. And in the reality of the situation, they were always dependent upon you. That when you can gray rock, when you can cut off that supply, you will watch that person fold like a lawn chair. They are weak and cowardly.